Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Mumbles. Today, I'm excited, as usual, because I'm bringing you guys a game review. Heck yeah! The game that I'm reviewing today is Cranes. Now, this is a game that is available on the Steam Marketplace for $4.99. And this game, basically, is exactly what you think it is. It is controlling a crane and using that crane to solve various puzzles, mainly involving moving boxes from point A to point B and placing them in a strategic puzzle-like manner to solve each puzzle. So that's what this game is. Not really complicated, not really hard to understand. So let's jump into the guts of this game. First off, graphics. The graphics are 3D. There's not a lot great about them, not a lot bad about them. They're just average graphics, really. I'm not going to sit here and praise them because they're not the greatest in the world, but I'm not going to sit here and hate on them because they are not the worst in the world. They're just nice little solid graphics. Now the soundtrack, really, there's not much to it. There's about one song that I've heard. There might be more than I just wasn't paying attention, but for the most part, the soundtrack is very much the same, and it's that kind of grooving type music that we all come to know and love that is associated with puzzle games. Now finally, the controls. The controls in this game, I'm going to admit, are rather confusing, and they have a steep learning curve, at least for me. When you give me a bunch of buttons and you say button, 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 one button's up at the top row, one button's down in the middle row, and buttons are down in the bottom row, I'm like, ah! You know, oh my gosh, panic, panic, panic. Basically, this game can be played using the WASD and Q and T buttons. WA are the left and right, S and D are the moving the crane part up and down. Now, the Q and T basically lower the crane and raise the crane. So you can pick up different things. Now, when you want to pick up something, basically you lower your crane down onto it, then you press the space bar and it magnetizes it, and then you can pick it back up and move it to where you want to put it. But you have to be careful with your crane because if you move it too far down, you can crush boxes and have to restart the level. Now they did also build in a restart button feature into this game, which is basically just R. And the other feature in this game is that you can switch between two cranes by pressing the tab button. These are basically the controls that you use in this game. They take a little bit of getting used to, and even once you do, I found myself being like, and you could probably tell in my gameplay there's a little bit of hesitation sometimes, because even when I got into the more advanced levels, I was like, so just keep that in mind. Now gameplay-wise, this game is a puzzle strategy game, and there's not a lot more to add to it than I've already told you guys. But I will give you guys basically a basic overview of how each level would work. So basically, you're given an outline of where a box needs to go. You're given usually a stack of boxes or boxes scattered about the level. Basically, you use your crane to pick up each box and put them in the location that is required to win the level. That's all there is to it. That's all you need to know. You can smash boxes, as I said, if you're not careful and have to restart. But that's really all there is to this game. Now, there are numerous levels. There are 60-some plus levels, and obviously they increase in difficulty as you go on. So do keep that in mind. So now cons. The first con that I'm going to give you guys is I don't like the camera system. They needed to do a better job. They need to do something better with that. Maybe a stable camera that you could click to different locations would have been better than having you move the mouse around, because I just found that to be inconvenient and hard to line up correctly. So by that I mean, basically when you go to lower your magnet, there is a little dot or shadow that appears on the ground. Well, if you move the camera into the wrong location, it can look like you're on one spot, but you're really not. So moving the camera I found a little bit lazy and difficult. Now the second con that I have for you guys is that this game really is a one-trick pony. Once you beat it, you're done with it. And they don't really add a lot to it to make it too interesting. It's just kind of the same thing, repetitive and repetitive and repetitive. So a lot of repetition in this game. So that is your second con. A lot of repetition, a lot of the same thing going on here. So really all that's left to ask is, what is Cranes gonna get on our Mumbles review? This is a game that costs $4.99 on the Steam Marketplace. So while I do gotta grade it fairly still, I do want to point that out before I give it any score. It only costs $4.99. If you're even thinking about, well, maybe, you know, this might give me a couple hours of fun, do it. It's a game that will give you a couple hours of fun. But with that in mind, Cranes is going to get a 5 out of 10 on our Mumbles review. It's a nice concept. I liked the idea. I liked some of the execution, but they just needed a little bit better controls, something a little bit more interesting than, you know, just moving around boxes and stuff. I don't know, maybe cars or something like that. You know, just something to spice up the gameplay a little bit would have been really cool. So, yeah, guys, this has been my review of Cranes. I want to thank you guys all so much for joining us. Please, 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 if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, ring the bell to keep up to date with when I'm bringing out videos. And, yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts on this game below. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see me review. And, yeah, guys, this is going to be Mumbles signing off. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.